Hello, lads and lasses, girls, boys, whatever you call yourself these days. Welcome back to my podcast, Unmasked. Now, today is a very different type of podcast, but one that I love to talk about. We're going to get deep, we're going to get personal, we're going to talk about fame and everything in the public eye, and I have got the perfect guest to help me do that. Now, he is a man that was there when me and my boyfriend Jordan first met, so this is very special because we've not seen each other since. And I have followed him since being a young girl as well. Now, I always say Jake Quickenden, but it's Jake Quickenden.
Quickenden.
Jake Quickenden.
Yeah, way. Broken up.
Jake, we need to talk about that time because I need to get off the system first.
I literally just spoke to Jord. He messaged me saying, like, have a good podcast.
And
I was like, I might just talk about you for the old time because I love him. He's what a nice guy. I met him playing footy.
Yeah, you did.
Well, no, on the night out, and then seen him again playing footy. And I just thought, do you know when you just get along with someone straight away? And he's so sound.
He is.
And then when he told... Because he didn't say anything about you two for a little while. And then I was messaging him and he told me and I was like,
kept everything under wraps.
I'm so buzzing for you. Like, he's such a nice guy.
Remember that night that we met at the Jog On to Cancer event?
Jog On to Cancer event.
And you were there. It was me, you, your wife, Jordan, Nathan. It was like a few of us. And it was just our little gang, wasn't it?
It was class.
And you know, when I look back at all the videos, I mean, we've been dating like 10 months, but when I look back at the videos, it's all of us sitting together.
Yeah, it's
and
mad.
it was that
you all
moment.
went to karaoke.
Yeah, I wanted you to come.
I was boring one eye.
I wanted you to come.
I'm old now, mate.
But you and Jordan singing, that would have been a moment.
Jordan's a singer.
Loves it.
He's got a great voice.
I know, but before we go into that, right, because we'll talk about the singing thing, what I want to know is that I don't really know about, but your background, like before the fame, let's just go back to you back in Scunthorpe, because we are Northerners.
Yeah, we are.
And I think, you know, being brought up in the north, would you say?
Yeah,
the north?
I'd say the north.
Yeah, being brought up in the north, we have a very different upbringing to what I've realised is people down south and stuff like that. But like, I don't actually know about your background and your childhood and growing up and stuff like that. So like, what was that like?
I had such an amazing childhood.
Good,
My mum and dad were the best, and my two brothers, we got on. I was a bit naughty at school, like any lad. All I wanted to do was play football. I wanted to do every day.
Yeah, because you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I played for Scunny United, and then at 17 I flew to Australia and I did 2 years out there playing in one under their top league. So I did that.
No way.
At 17, like, just flew out with my best mate, got a house. Our house that we lived in, well, I say house, it was a room. Yeah. We had one room, there was 3 others in it. We had bunk beds and a single bed, a kitchen and a toilet, and that's it. And
so you did that at the age of 17?
17 I flew out there,
So 17 years old, you were living in Australia on your own, doing football.
Yeah, it was mad. Like, it's what I always wanted to do. I actually got shit at footy when I was out there, because then that's when I realised how much the Aussies drank.
Oh,
and I was like trying to
keep
up with them, and I was like, I'm actually really bad at footy now.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go home.
The Aussies can drink.
They can drink.
Like, they can wake up and have a bottle of beer.
Yeah, like, and,
they're heavy.
And when the sun's shining, like, it makes everything better.
Well, I call it the stars, especially him.
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
It is. It makes everything better. But before that, just a fairly normal kind of upbringing. Like I say, I'm really close to my mum and dad. Yeah. Really close family, kind of knit.
Yeah.
And
so obviously, like, growing up, you talk about your football, but then what about the singing?
So the singing was like, I remember I was on holiday in like Turkey. I'm sure it was Turkey.
Every northern holiday is Turkey. We'll go for the fake handbags, mate. We'll come back with
Gucci's. I was about 13.
Yeah.
And I remember I really fancied this girl, and she was like 15. And
holiday romance.
Yeah, holiday romance. And I sang to her at 13 outside the room, and I sang a Ronan Keating song.
Cause a smile on your face.
That's the one. That's what I sang. What a banger that was, by the way. I sat on the park bench, and I sang that, and she was like, "You've got a really nice voice," and that's the first time really that I'd ever sang. And then I did karaoke on that same holiday, and I remember everyone like come up to me and being like, "You've got a nice voice." Yeah. Like, turns out Simon Cowell didn't think that, but everyone said that, and I was like, "Oh, sweet." And that was kind of my first kind of taste of music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then at school and that, I've always liked to be the centre of attention. It's changed a lot now.
Same.
Like,
Love
do you know
it.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
everything used to be ego, didn't it, when you
Course.
was younger?
Yeah.
And I was having this with my missus, like, earlier, how your priorities change when you get older.
Get older.
But as I was younger, I loved being centre of attention, loved being class clown. So that's why I kind of like doing stuff like that.
I get what you mean there, because I feel like when I was younger, it was cool to be the silly one.
Yeah.
It was cool to like, you know, not be naughty, but, you know, the loud one of
Yeah.
the class.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like the cool thing.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be the funny one.
Yes.
The funny one, the one that,
Same.
like, on a night out, I'll always end up doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, remember what you did last night.
You wanted everyone to talk about
Yeah,
it.
and as I've got older, that has totally flipped. Totally flipped. But
Yeah.
like I say, younger, started singing that age, but I was never interested in being a singer. I never thought I want to be a singer. I still don't think I am a singer. Like, I'm not. I did the X Factor, and that's kind of what gave me my
Massive.
stepping stone. Do you know what I mean?
Massive.
But I always wanted to be a footballer, and I went through jobs. I was a lifeguard. I worked at McDonald's. I worked
We've all
at
been
Top
there.
Man.
Yeah.
And I kind of got let go from most of them for, like, either not turning up because I had a footy match or something like that. And, like, I always knew that
you weren't meant to be there.
yeah, like,
This is how
I
felt.
kind of was not destined, because
Yeah.
that's cringe, innit? But
I
kinda
know
knew
what
that
you
I
mean. You
always,
don't want to say it.
I always wanted to do something more.
Yes, you wanted to be in the. I know
I
what.
needed control over what I was doing,
Yeah.
because I flip from one thing to the other. I'm either, if I like something, I really like it,
Yeah,
and I
or
get
if you're
so
not, you get
obsessed.
bored.
If I'm not, I'm out.
Yeah,
do you know
I'm
what I mean? And
exactly the same.
I don't know if you've ever seen Lifeguard sat on that chair.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell. Honestly, the most boring. It's
Like that.
roasting by the
I bet,
pool.
I know this
used to
is
be
awful.
like-
I know it's awful, but I bet you can't wait for like something to happen.
It
Do you know
never
what
did.
I mean?
It never did in
never
Scuddy.
did.
It never did,
But I bet
but
you're just
like-
sitting there like when it happens.
Yeah,
right,
but
this
nothing
is
ever.
it.
Like, you're like, highlight of the day is blowing your whistle when someone's running.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Stop running. But yeah, so I had so many jobs.
Yeah.
And then I got released from Scunthorpe United when I played for them. I broke my leg really badly.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was a bad break, and I was playing a game that I shouldn't have been playing in, which was
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah, yeah.
I broke my leg bad.
How old were you
Bone
then?
came. I was 16.
16.
So my bone came through my skin and dislocated my ankle, and they said that I'd probably never play again. Which was like,
Oh my God,
for
I
me,
bet-
I was like,
Well, your world would have ended,
yeah,
really.
I thought I'm not going to be a footballer. Took me a while to get back, and then my best mate, who I'm still best mates with now, he got offered this like trial in Australia, and I'd just got better from my leg. I was back running, I was back trying to get fit, and he was like, "Why don't you come out with me? Like, they've said they'll give you a trial for the team."
Stop it.
So I was like, "Sweet, all right, let's just drop
gonna go
everything."
for
I
it.
had no money, no
Yeah.
nothing. I think my mum and dad gave me a couple of grand to
Yeah.
be able to like get settled.
Course.
And then there was like, then you need to do your own thing. You get a job or you make
Yeah,
money
yeah,
playing
yeah.
footy. I had a trial game. They offered me a year contract, so I signed that. I didn't end up staying for the full year. I came back after about 6 months, and then went back to being a bricklayer. Where
Really?
so my dad was a brickie.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
older brother's still a
I used to
brickie.
date a bricklayer.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I loved it. I
That
loved
is
being
mad
a
that you
brickie.
actually, because I would call it like proper graft.
Yeah, I loved
That is like
it.
graft, isn't it?
Everyone always look. I think people are so quick to judge people by their exterior. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean? How
I
they
agree.
look and that. They'll go, he does his hair. He's got massive fake teeth.
Well, look at all the
like,
Geordie
he's not
Shore
gonna
lads,
be-
yeah,
he's
yeah.
not going to be a brickie. Loved it.
Yeah.
Honestly, such a character building like job to be around a group of guys, different ages.
Lads
like
banter,
the
isn't
oldest
it?
guy was like
Yeah.
65. Mate used to eat raw onions.
Yeah.
What a legend.
Oh my God.
And I used to love
Bet his
it.
breath stunk
Nah,
every
he was
day.
a ledge, man.
Did
Like, honestly, I didn't mind
Yeah.
it. He was a proper boy. And I went back and did that for a bit. And then I got an email from another team in Australia. My best mate was still there. And they offered me another contract. And I was like, I'm going to fly out again.
So did you? Did you go
Yeah,
back?
I went back out there, signed for another team. And I wasn't in the same team as my best mate. We was in separate teams, but we still lived together.
Yeah.
And I found it really hard that year. For like the first 2 months, I was so homesick. I hated every second of it.
Yeah, I've been like that,
I really
yeah.
felt like I'd lost who I was.
Yeah.
And then all
Well,
of
I
a
mean,
sudden,
doing all these different things, OJ, you're going from like football
Yeah.
and bricklaying, and then obviously obviously you would have been going out and
Yeah.
and then you're like this thing.
was
So
young,
all these
like, yeah,
different
yeah,
things, yeah. It's like what you said, like, you know, how the hell do you find yourself amongst all these different things?
I don't think I did. I don't think I truly found myself probably up until a couple of years
Yeah.
back. Like, honestly.
Because all these different things, yeah, of course.
I've flitted from one thing to the other, and like, I've tried to be a musician, I tried to be a footballer, I tried to do this, tried to do that. So when I went back out, I was really struggling. And I actually remember my dad was really poorly at the time. My dad had cancer.
Yeah.
And he was like, you've got to go. Just go do it. It's your dream.
Good.
Like, we get one life. So
Like
I was
dads
like,
do, yeah.
screw it. I'm going to fly back out there. Went out there. Really homesick for a bit. And then I remember sat outside one of the bars. They do like jugs of beer out there, don't they? I had a jug of beer.
Yeah.
And I just like was looking around. I was 18. And I just thought, life is so good. Like, I'm who gets a chance to do this?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then literally like a month later, outside that same bar, my mum rang me and was like, your dad's took a turn for the worse, you're going to have to come home.
Fuck.
So I was like, right, okay.
Yeah.
And I remember the lad that I was living with, Ross, he was a bit older, and me and Tom lived with him. He packed my case for me, he booked me a flight, he did everything for me because I was in a bit of a
absolutely.
bad way.
At 18 as
And
well.
I was on a flight that same night, flew home. And my dad kind of was getting worse and worse, and luckily he stayed around for like another year and a half.
But it was just
I'm
quite
just
aggressive.
glad I flew home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
of
glad I
course.
flew home, and then went back to like, what do I do now, kind of thing. Like,
But
the football dream was over.
Yeah,
what do I do now?
And then did you move on to the singing?
So the singing came about is after my dad passed when I was 20. I was like, what am I going to do? Again, flittering from jobs.
Yeah.
And I said to my mum, will you get us a guitar for Christmas? She's always like, do you know mum's like, what do you want for Christmas? And I was getting to that age where I'm like, just get me some socks, man.
Yeah, just anything.
You know what I mean? I need some socks.
Just like not bother
I've got
anything.
socks on all
Then
the
you
time.
open and the socks ugly go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that all you got me? So I said, look, buy us a cheapo guitar from like Argos or something. I'm going to teach myself guitar because my dad always wanted to play the guitar.
Yeah.
And he always used to say to me like, learn to play an instrument because it'll never leave you.
And then as well, I think like I can imagine you need a focus at that age as well. Obviously, listen, as a not that I've ever lost someone, it's very hard to understand. But for a young lad to lose his father, and obviously being so young as well, I think you would have needed like a focus to help. Yeah,
and I think
so I bet this is what it is.
Yeah, and I found that with life in itself, I always need something to focus on. I need a routine.
Absolutely.
Like, and I've always been like that, and that's just the way my mind works. I need a routine. So I was like, buy us a guitar. My mum was like, you won't teach yourself. You won't stick at it. The only thing you've ever stuck at is playing footy. And I was like, no, trust me, buy me a guitar.
You're gonna do it, yeah.
I didn't even want to be a singer. I just wanted to learn to play the guitar.
Yeah, of course.
And then, like any mum, I was sat singing one day, and she was like, you should go on the X Factor. Do you know what I mean? Like, just one.
Well, we'd all watched it, didn't we, back then? It's like, that was when it was peak.
It was. I think my year was just falling.
Was it just going in?
I think the peak years were like the One Direction years and stuff, and it was still massive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Go for the X Factor." So I was like, "All right," like I do. Like, I don't want loads of hard work.
No, exactly.
I just want the easy route. Do you know what I mean?
Just want to work a couple of days a week, an easy life.
So I went to the X Factor. Got through the first few rounds, and I actually remember when I got through my first round, I walked into boot camp.
Yeah.
And the first person I heard singing was James Arthur, because I did 2012.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
So I did
He's from the North East as well.
Yeah, I did 2012 with James and Rylan and all them lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I went back.
Come
in
on, that was a
2014.
good one.
Yeah, great year.
That is a good
great
one.
year. Went to Dubai, and I remember just being at boot camp, and I heard James singing in one of the rooms, and I remember ringing my mum and being like, "Hey, mum, I'm fucking coming home." And she's like, "What do you mean?"
I've got no chance,
I
mum.
have got not a chance in hell.
Yeah, but did he have the guitar?
He had the guitar. He was singing on
fuck's
that. He
sake.
was like, he's still unbelievable. I've seen him the other day. He's a really nice guy.
I've met him a few times as well. Yeah.
And I was just like, "There's not a chance in hell." And my mum was like, "Just stick it out. You never know what could happen."
Of course.
So I went to Dubai, got a free holiday out of it, and didn't get through. Didn't make the finals.
Look at that experience.
A great experience. And then I think that's kind of made me, I was like, look, maybe this is what I want to do. Maybe not the singing, but being on stage or performing or presenting or acting or something, like, maybe that's what I want to do. Like, and it turned out like that.
To be fair though, Jake, like, you are very good at it. I remember watching you. And you are very good at being on stage, like even sitting doing these podcasts now. Like, I know obviously we've had all the years of growing up on TV, but like at that young age to throw yourself and have that much confidence, like, listen, not many people have got it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can do TV and you can do whatever we do, but if you've got it, you've got it. But if you haven't, you haven't.
I think you've got to put yourself out there.
You've got to, and you've got to have the confidence, of course, and just have like no filter and just think, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I applied for the X Factor.
Did you?
It is really
Can you
funny.
sing?
I think I can.
Can you give us a bit?
No. Jordan says I'm not that good. And I'm like, I'm actually really good. So when he sings, I try and overpower him.
Right, yeah.
But when I was younger, I did apply for the X
you?
Factor. Now, people don't know this, but before you go on the TV auditions, you know
have
yourself.
about 10 before
You
that.
have about 10. So I had... I don't think I got through the second one. So I had the first one.
You only got one.
You only got the one. They were like, nah, you don't.
Just 9 more
That was
till the
it.
judges.
But I remember how nerve-wracking it was,
Yeah.
because it was, you know, the same setup. I was in Newcastle. All my friends were there, but it was like full of obviously people auditioning. Then they did film it still.
Yeah.
They do film it,
Yeah.
but it's not obviously
But
on
in
the
it
TV.
fucks
But
when you're singing and then you see somebody dressed like a chicken and they
Yeah,
come out
and
and
then-
they've got through.
yeah, I wonder if it was the year that you did then.
Well, it probably was. There's like loads.
But obviously it didn't
I
happen.
remember just every time I got through, I was like to my mum, I'm through another round here.
Yeah.
And then
'Cause
I
there's a
remember,
lot.
Yeah, and then
There
I
is a
remember
lot.
when they said you go into judges' houses, I was like, all right, I might be able to get to the live shows here.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then obviously I didn't.
Yeah.
And then I had a year out,
Yeah.
2013, and then my little brother passed away.
Jake, I can't believe these stories, you know,
Yeah.
honestly. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was tough, but I always say like now, like I'm quite open talking about it, and, and
Yeah.
I guess for
That
some
takes
people,
time.
Yeah, but I also guess for some people like listening, like it can be a bit of a broken record. But for me, talking
disagree.
about my dad and my brother is like what keeps them alive.
Yeah.
What keeps
But
their
I think
memory
as well,
alive.
it'll probably help you as well.
It helps me, and
'Cause-
I know that it helps other people that go
Yeah.
through grief. Because if you haven't been through grief, and
Yeah.
you haven't kind of experienced it, you don't really know how to navigate it.
Course.
And it can be a horrible thing to navigate. And still now, like 10, 15 years on from losing my dad, 15
Absolutely.
years ago, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, I still have shit days and still have shit
Absolutely, you
days.
will.
So 2013 was a bad year. Oliver had passed.
But Oliver passed away with cancer as well,
Yeah,
didn't he?
cancer as well, yeah. So my dad died of something called myeloma and my little brother died of something called osteosarcoma. So
Right.
I've just literally ran the marathon for sarcoma.
Seen that, I know, yeah, we'll get that as well, yeah.
Yeah, so that was amazing that I'm a patron for their charity now because
Yeah.
it's only a really small charity. And he passed, I kind of like, I was in a bit of a bad way for
How
a
old were
year.
you at this point?
I was 23.
And then this is at the peak of everything as well, so you've been on X Factor.
So I'd done 2012, so I'd made Judges'
Yeah.
Houses and then Oliver passed. So people would stop us a little bit. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there
Still
wasn't
not
as
like
much
just
social
in
media
beef.
then, that's why.
There wasn't, and that was quite a good thing. Twitter was quite big, but Instagram never
it
was.
was brutal, Twitter. Hated
Twitter,
it.
Twitter, I've come off Twitter now.
Vile.
I'm off it. But yeah, like it wasn't huge. And then they actually contacted me in 2014, X Factor, and was like, would you come back?
Oh my God, amazing.
And I was like, you know what? Yeah, why not?
Good on you.
Why not? Let's go back, see how it goes. So I did all the auditions again and made the live shows this time. And I thought,
Oh my God.
and I was like, I'm gonna fucking win.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks in, I got voted out, and I was like,
Yeah,
fuck.
but listen, look how far you got.
Well, this is what
it's like having that sort of second chance, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
like everything.
I agree.
And even to the point where I try and look at the shit things that have happened, like losing people, and there's no good in losing parents,
of course,
friends.
yeah.
There's no good in it, but you have to try and see a positive thing.
In everything, yeah, and I'm like that.
And I always say like, without losing them, I wouldn't look at life the way I do now.
Of course you do, yeah. I bet you
And
look at
just
life so
embrace it,
much
man.
differently though
Just,
as well.
you just got to embrace it.
Every little thing, I bet you're like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
Does it matter?
try. I
Yeah.
try. It's hard, like mentally up and down and stuff like that. But I just know that where you're meant to be right now, you are.
Is where you're
Do
meant
you know
to
what I
be.
mean?
It's a good way of
I
thinking.
am exactly where I'm meant to be. What will be, will be. I have it with Sophie all the time. I'm like, I didn't get this job, or I got overlooked for
It
that
hurts,
and this
yeah.
and that, and it hurts. Like,
Yeah.
especially being in our industry,
Yeah.
it's an amazing industry, but it can be pretty shit as well.
Of course, and I want to talk to you about that because I feel like you'd be honest about it. Like for me, right, you know, being in Geordie Shore, it's very different. We're looked upon as being the wild, crazy people. So we don't really get that much work,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like you know, obviously having a little bit more of a clean cut image, you're very lucky. Like, you get to do other shows and you get to like have a bit of a better profile and like, obviously some people on Geordie Shore being able to do that, but most of us, we haven't even been able to like really prove ourselves or show ourselves of like who we actually are, because you know, doing podcasts like this,
but everyone will have a misconception of you.
Exactly.
Everybody does.
Exactly.
Like people will see, and I used to be really bad for this. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I used to watch TV like years back and go, don't like them, dickhead. Yeah. Blah blah blah. But then I'm like, why do I think that? I don't know that person. Like, I've never met them.
And you know what TV's like these days.
Yeah, and I always say, like, now, I will never, ever have a misconception about anyone until I've met them and had a conversation with them. And then I can go, actually,
it's like what people say, judging a book by its cover, you should never do it. And especially in our industry, when you can, like, obviously people can make you look like these crazy, wild people.
On reality shows.
And listen, don't get us wrong, like, we love life, and we did, and we partied. But I think...
I loved...
It was good, wasn't it?
Geordie Shore was so good.
You liked it, didn't you? I remember I've met you a few times and you said that,
Like, me and Tom, who I live with in Australia, we used to watch it all the time. And it was just, at that point, it was like, that's what young people were doing. Yeah. That's what we were going at.
You and Gaz became good friends, didn't you?
Yeah, I know Gaz pretty well. And do you know what? I've met most of the Geordie Shore lot. And,
good bunch.
And all a great bunch. Do you know what I mean? Really good people. But we were just watching you lot go out and get
absolutely slaughtered. Listen, that's what we did. But like, now that we're older, social media came around, we did, you know, most of us did struggle. And like, what I want to say to you is, for me personally, like, I, you know, was working all the time and I was doing everything, but it got to a period in my life where things started quieting down. And I started to really worry. You know, I wasn't financially stable as much as what I was. There was obviously a lot more reality shows and stuff like that came along, and like, I really panicked. I think it was last year. I'll be honest with you, like last year, about a year and a half ago, just after the COVID thing, I was doing a podcast with Charlotte, and I remember going downstairs into Costa and I had £3 in the bank.
Really?
Like, I had nothing, Jake. And this is when people think we're multi-millionaires. And I couldn't afford a coffee. And I said to my dad, because I was so, you know, I know I could ask my friends to lend money, I know that. But I thought, I can't do it, I've got too much pride. So I messaged my dad and I was like, please, can you just transfer some money in my bank? And he was like, absolutely. So he did, and it helped us get back on my feet. And people
that's
don't
what
know
you
that.
need sometimes. You just need that, a little helping hand.
Of course, and I like to be honest. Like, I don't want to say, yeah, well, you know, we're loaded, and I know on Instagram it might look like that, but
my mum had my bank card for honestly, like, I wasn't in control of my finances for a while. I am now. Now I've got a house and stuff like that. Like, but when my dad passed, I got a bit of money left by him, and I just blew it. I just blew it. I wasn't thinking about houses in the future, and you never do when you're young. Do you know what I mean? And I think, like, in our industry, this is why people often say, like, fucking hell, Jake, you'll do every show under the sun. Too right, I will.
That is your job.
Too right, I will. If somebody comes in to me and says, as long as it's right.
Yeah, of course.
But they'll say, do you want to do this show? Do you want to do that show? Yeah, because that's my job now.
Well, of course, like, and you're still lucky that, you know, you are still really
I can't
covering.
believe 10 years on that I'm still somehow kicking around and doing bits of presenting, and I'm doing another tour. I got into doing musicals and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
That's kind of, I think we always have to kind of rebrand ourselves in a way and regrow. And like, the reality TV stuff I love. I love being myself on camera and having a laugh.
It's the best thing, isn't it? You get paid for being yourself.
But I also wanted to use any talent that I had and do the acting and do the musical theatre and stuff like that. And it just gives less worry for me is the fact that I can maybe, if I'm not getting any TV work, there's stuff that I can do. I can go and do an acting job and a musical or a panto, even a panto. People turn their nose up at pantos, mate.
I know.
Fucking pantos
you get
class.
So good money as well, and it's a great thing.
The money's brilliant, but also, like,
it's enjoyable.
It's hard work. It's fun. You get to spend time with great people.
Yeah.
So I will grab any work handed to me and take it, because I could get diagnosed with cancer tomorrow.
Yeah, of course.
I could get run over by a car and pass away, and I don't want to ever think I should have done that, I should have done this. So now I just think, just take your chances, take your opportunities, and just fucking and roll with it. And you will. Everything's like this.
Goes up
I
and
worry
down
all the time, mate. Like
it's
I'm
scary.
horrendous.
It is like we've got to be honest, Jake. Like it is a scary industry that we're in. Like a lot of people have got like really stable jobs, and they know that's never going to go anywhere. Like even for me, getting a mortgage and stuff like that was absolute nightmare.
Terrifying.
Because
getting married,
and
getting
things
houses,
like that.
getting mortgages. It's like fucking hell. I'm grown.
Of course,
up
yeah.
now, like...
But I think as well, like I don't know if about you, but with fame, and so say like being in the public eye, there has been times like I've really, really struggled.
Same.
And I think like it's good because I know you can relate, but there's been times where I've had that what's it called, imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I've had that so many times,
all the time.
and I've only found out what that was.
Yeah.
So I remember like back in the day, say me and Charlotte would go out and about, and people would always recognise Charlotte because she was quite well known.
Yeah.
But I'd always make that joke of like, they would go like, oh, can I get a photo with you? And I'd be like, no, why me? She's more famous than me. That's Charlotte.
Yeah.
Because I could never accept that I was like in the public eye too.
Yeah.
So I think, it's sad to look back because sometimes like I'd say no to photos because I thought like, why does anyone want them for me?
Yeah.
And I used to always
It is
like,
imposter syndrome, and it's hard to not have that sometimes.
Yeah.
I think, because like for me, I'd never want people to think I'm above my station.
No.
Like I'm no
You're
better.
so humble as well.
I'm no better than anybody
You are
else.
so humble though,
That's
Jake.
the thing that pisses me off when I meet people, and I think, why are you being a tosser, man?
Yeah.
Like we all get up in the morning, we all have a shower, we all have a shit, we all get dressed. You know what I mean? Like, and we're all exactly the same. Like I've worked all jobs. Everybody should be treated the same. Everybody should be kind of on the same level. Nobody's above anybody. So that was always my thing. So when everyone asks for a photo or whatever, to me it's like, of course.
Yeah.
I would never ever say no to a photo. Like, why would I?
Yeah, I
and
know.
the only reason they ask for a photo is because my job is a bit different than their job.
Of course.
My job just sometimes puts me on the TV.
And it's made the day.
Yeah, and if
day,
you can make someone happy and do that, then why would you not?
And I think as well, like being in the public eye, it can work because not everyone wants to be like what you say famous. People don't want it.
Yeah, because it comes with good and bad.
It comes with good and bad. But I think for you, this is what I want to get at. Like for you, right? And I think you have used it to your advantage, and you have helped so many people. And like I do want to look up to you because I want to help more people, and I want to do things. And listen, it's never too late. And obviously, what you've went through as well, like you can openly talk about the stuff that you've had to go through. But for you, using your profile and using your, I would say like fame or whatever, you've helped so many people. And you're doing what charities now? You're doing runs and.
I'm trying. Do you know what it is for me? It's like I've been given this kind of platform and these followers and all this and before, maybe when I first came off the X Factor, even the Jungle, I look back on like the stuff I used to post and the stuff I used to be bothered about. And this is what I was getting at with what me and the missus was saying about priorities. Like I used to be driven by ego. I used to be driven by, I want to get this job because I want to have a massive house. I want to drive a Ferrari. I want all the best
stuff.
clothes. Like All Saints and Zara, I'm not bothered about like anything like big anymore.
I was
like
the same.
I buy the
odd
odd like nice treat for myself, but that's it. So I used to be driven by ego and like where can it get me? And now I'm like, actually, you've been given a platform. Why not use it for a bit better? And you're still going to get people going, well, you blah blah blah.
Of course.
But now, like, I did the marathon because I wanted to help
Seeing
sarcoma.
that stalking you last night.
It was fucking horrendous. Honestly, it was the hardest thing I've ever done.
What were you dressed as, a bone as well?
I was dressed as a bone, and it fucking rained, mate. And it was made out of foam. It was like running in a massive wet.
It's like a melted welly.
Wet sponge, mate. I could just hear it squelching.
Nobody wants a crumbled bone.
No, it was horrendous, and people were going, "Go on, tooth." They thought it was a tooth, and I was thinking, "Are you saying that about
I'm not
my
gonna lie.
teeth,
I thought it was a tooth, and then they were like, "No, it's a bone." I was like, "Oh, I thought it was just a
Everyone
tooth."
thought it was a tooth. The amount of people that went, "Go on, tooth," and I was just like, "Cheers."
How the hell did you have to train hard for that though?
I'm so bad. So when sarcoma, so I shaved my head in lockdown for sarcoma and raised a bit of money.
I remember seeing you.
Yeah, I raised a little bit of money for that, and then I got talking to everyone at the charity, and I was like, "Look, like they're a small charity. They said, do you want to be a patron? Do you want to work more with us? And I was like, absolutely.
Good, yeah.
Sarcoma it's quite a common cancer. It's soft tissue and bone. Osteosarcoma, which Oliver had, it usually affects like teens.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like...
And how, if you don't mind asking, how old was he?
Oliver was 16 when he got diagnosed, and he was 19 when he passed.
So young.
So it affects... So I wanted to kind of like draw eyes to it to make people more aware. And then they said, yeah, do you want to do the marathon this year? And I was like, absolutely. And me being me, I love my fitness. I train every day anyway.
You look really well.
It's got to a point now where it's a routine for me to train. Like, I have to train.
It's good, yeah. It's in your day.
So I was like, right, ego clicked in again for me, and I was like, I want to run it in sub 3:30. I want to be fast as
That's
fuck.
a good ego, though.
That's a good
to
ego.
Do it.
Yeah, I wanted to do it.
I wish I had that.
So I went out and I was training. I was doing my 5, 10Ks. I was building up, and then they came to me and was like, "Do you want to run as a bone?" And I was like, yeah, why not? More people would see me as a bone.
Good, yeah, absolutely.
So when I signed up to run it as a bone, I stopped training as much. So the furthest run I did was 10 and a half, 11 miles. So when you think about you actually running 26, so 11 miles isn't a lot. And I remember like setting off on the day and thinking, I go to the gym, I'll be fine.
Yeah,
this
of course.
Is gonna be
in your head, I would have been the same.
Yeah, I'm running past
I wouldn't be
people,
able to run a mile.
Look at me dressed as a bone, I'm still passing you and all that.
Yeah.
Half marathon time, I was like, oh, I'm running quick here. This is nice.
Cool,
15 miles, mate. I have never felt pain like it in my life, right?
Go on, what is it like?
Just
numb.
My lungs and my heart were fine. My legs honestly felt like they weren't mine. My hip flexors were tight.
Were you actually just running or were you walking?
So I didn't. My first walk was at 20 miles.
Right.
So I managed to get to 20 miles. The last 6 miles took me 2.5 hours.
Oh my God.
I can run 10K usually in about 40 minutes. It took me 2.5 hours.
Oh my God.
And every time I started like having a little walk, people going, "Go on, Jake!" or "Go on, Tooth."
I bet you're like, right, the eagle kicked in. Yeah, the eagle.
But I finished it in I think 5 hours, which I wasn't happy with. But when I look back on it now, it wasn't about my time. It was about the fact that I'd done
what you did it for.
15.5 grand a race.
Yeah, I was going to ask 15.5
grand. 15.5 grand for a small charity like that is pretty massive.
God,
like
amazing.
That'll help them get research, and that'll help them talk to people over the phone.
And this is what I'm saying. Obviously, without like the profile and the followers and stuff, like this is how much it's helped.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I'll never turn down like maybe going on the Loose Women and talking about grief,
of course,
and talking about losing people and
helps
talking
people.
About all kind of being a new dad, because new dads find it hard as well. Do you know what I mean? And if somebody in the public eye can go out there and talk about something like that, then it can, if it helps one person might think you're just fucking attention seeking. Two people might not have an opinion, but it helps three people. Someone, then the people I'm not bothered. Quiet, like I'm trying to do my bit.
Like, but like obviously for men, see, it's obviously different. I'm a woman, but what I was going to ask you, I know you've talked a lot about like mental health, especially in men, and I do with women as well.
Yeah.
Like some days if you're feeling shit, like I am that girl though that needs everyone to know.
Yeah, yeah.
But growing up in a household of Geordie Shore full of very, ego men, big lads.
Yeah.
It was never talked about with them.
Yeah, of course.
And I know obviously Aaron talks a lot about it. Most of them do, most of the lads do, but I was growing up in obviously the Geordie Shore household where it was just like the boys were always fine.
Yeah.
And obviously for the girls.
That was the same as like when I used to watch Geordie Shore, like in when I was younger. How old are you?
33.
So we was same age. It's like I was watching you. It was never spoken about.
Never.
When I was watching Geordie Shore.
Yeah.
In footy changing rooms, even as a brickie, it was never spoke about mental health.
Nah.
So I think it's amazing now that people are starting to talk about it more.
Of course.
Because it does affect everybody. Mental health will affect every single person at one point in their life, whether or not it's grief, whether or not it's depression, anxiety, social anxiety, overthinking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it affects everybody. So the fact that there's been a bit of a turn in the way we look at things now, and it's less about being laddie lad and going out and getting pissed. It's more about, mate, I go to bed at fucking 9 o'clock. I get up at 6 o'clock. I'm with Leo.
Yeah.
I go to the gym. I try and eat a bit better now. I don't drink as much as what I used to. And I'm just like, everything I'm doing now is setting me up to have hopefully a longer life.
A longer life. And you know, I think recently as well, a lot more people are going sober.
Yeah.
It's not as cool to fall out of clubs anymore.
Oh, it's not.
When back in the day,
it was.
It was cool,
It was cool to
be on stories. Listen, don't get us wrong, I do stories when I'm drunk, but I'll cringe the next day.
Yeah, yeah.
But back in the day, you know, going out and falling out of clubs and being ratchet was quite cool,
Mate,
let's be honest.
Honestly, it gives me pure anxiety
Of
thinking about going,
yeah.
but even thinking about going to a club and
Yeah.
getting messy,
'Cause
and then
I
waking
think-
up the next day and going, oh my god,
What did I
that,
do?
or did this, and like
Imagine how many
next
times
to
I
me
felt
and
like
there's
that, Jay.
a kebab laid next to me in the
And
bed,
stinks of garlic.
sick on the floor,
Yeah.
like. But that was, and times change. That's all it is. Like times have changed, and it's not as cool now. And I think we have to think about like younger lads. I've got Freddie who's 9, my little stepson. I've got my little boy who's 2.5. Like, I want them to go out and have fun.
Yeah.
Go party.
But there is
go
more
enjoy.
to life.
But
We've got to
also,
be honest.
like let them know that like if you don't want to do it, it's fine. Like you don't have to do it just because it's the norm.
I agree with you. I think like, you know, when I've been out in the past with a group of friends, and deep down I'm like, I'm not drinking tonight. I don't really want to go out because I know I'm going to feel horrendous. I'm not going to be productive. I'm going to feel like crap. I've got loads of things booked in. But when I'm with the gang and they're like, come on, let's go out, and I do it, and the next day I think, what have I done?
But that's just, I think as you get older, your circles always get smaller.
Yeah.
Because when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, into my 20s, early 20s, even after like X Factor and the Jungle, like going to clubs, going on tables.
Did you do PAs?
Loads of PAs.
Yeah, that was
you
the
always
thing,
get
wasn't
a
it,
free
back then?
table, you get a bottle of Grey Goose,
the best,
little
yeah.
sparklers and all that shit. All my mates had come along.
Yeah.
And my circle started getting smaller when I stopped going out as much and partying as much. But then I think that's not a bad thing, man. Like
It's not.
the people that are sticking around you when you're saying, mate, I'm gonna have an early night tonight. I'm gonna probably just go to bed. Or do you want to go for a takeaway? We'll go get some food. We'll maybe have one beer, but I'm not having a late one.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, sound. And then you're not sat opposite each other, and he's going, come on, let's have fucking 10 more beers. Let's go out.
Because the thing is, where are them people when you feel like shit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're not going to ring and check on you, are they?
No, they're there for nights out.
The party.
And you have different friendship groups. Like, you always have different people you play. I've got people that I train with. I've got people now that I just go for a bit of breakfast with. I've still got my best mates. All my best mates are still my best mates that I grew up with from like 7 and 8 playing footy with. They're all dads now.
Aww.
They're all older. They still have a drink every now and again, gin and tonic of a night. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not sober. I'm not totally sober, but I definitely don't drink as much as I used to. I definitely don't go out looking to party.
No.
Like Sophie's like,
your priorities are different.
yeah, they're different. Sophie said to me the other day, do you want to go to Creamfields? And I was like,
I love that shit.
I was like, do you want to go to fucking Creamfields? I was like, absolutely bloody not. I can't think of anything worse than the same song playing for 7 hours.
I'll take Soph to Creamfields.
No,
You can come
God, I
with me.
wouldn't. She's not going there with you lot. Fuck that. No, I was like, absolutely not. She's like, why? I was like, it's just not me
Not
anymore.
for you, yeah. And
I'm like,
fine.
if you want to go, you go. Fucking have a good
laugh,
time.
yeah,
But I don't want to do it. And she's so sad. And she was like, that's fine. Like,
yeah.
And that's why being in that kind of relationship as well. Soph's not a huge drinker. She hardly drinks anymore as well. But if she wants to go to Creamfields and have a party, I'm not going to be like, you're not going because I'm not going.
I'll get on the guest list if she wants a guest list. You know, I'll
yeah,
get
there
on.
we go. I'll get a protection. But like, yeah, I just think priorities change so much.
Yes.
Especially when you throw a kid in the mix. Like Leo now is 2 and a bit.
Me and Jordan were watching. You know, Jordan's obsessed with having a little boy.
Yeah.
And I'm really worried in case I can't give him one. I think it's going to be a girl. Not that I'm pregnant.
You know what? When Sophie was pregnant, we actually both thought it was a little girl. For some reason, we both thought it was a little girl. So I kind of prepared myself for a little girl.
Little girl, yeah.
And then when Leo came, I was like, you will be so happy no matter what sex that baby is.
Of course,
is.
absolutely, yeah, and I get that. I get
with
that
baby, like you will be super happy because it's like, again, I can't imagine not having Leo now.
Yeah.
Like the way he is, and if I could have like wrote down on a bit of paper the kind of baby that I wanted him to be.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted.
So beautiful.
He's cheeky. He's fun.
I know. I've watched all the videos, Jake. I stalked you.
Like he's just amazing.
He is beautiful.
Being a dad has just like changed my life. And don't get me wrong, it's fucking hard work, man.
Yeah, I know. I've heard.
It's hard work. It's tiring. It's like the sleep deprivation at the beginning is just, I remember.
I've heard about the sleep. See, I love me sleep. I absolutely love me sleeping.
Well, if you have a baby.
I know, and everything changes. But of course, you've got your baby there, and you know, all the lack of sleep in the world doesn't matter as long as you've got your baby.
There was times when Leo was a newborn, because he was a bit allergic to like certain milks, and he didn't sleep well.
I remember seeing this, and this is quite common now, you know.
Yeah, he didn't sleep at all, and there was points when, like, I'm not even afraid to say it, like me and Soph, I remember we just got him back down, and we'd have like maybe, I'm not even joking, 20 minutes sleep in the night, and we both sat on the bed and just cried. And we was like,
well, of
so
course
tired.
it's tough, but it's real.
Yeah, but
this is what people don't talk about, though, Jay.
We literally sat and cried and was like, I'm so tired. How are we going to just keep doing this over and over again? But it gets easier, and it's so worth it. And I remember my best mate who I lived with in Australia. God, I feel like I'm talking about him loads.
I know, yeah, you like him, don't you? Look, he's going to be buzzing, and he's got a few shout-outs. I'll get him on next.
Yeah, get him on. He had a baby just before I did.
Yeah. So you went through that together.
I remember ringing him one time, FaceTimed him, and he's on this walk pushing the pram, and he was fucking pale. Right, he had these bags under his eyes. He looked like someone after Walking Dead, right? Oh my God,
yeah, I've heard, yeah.
And I went, "Are you all right?" And he was like, "Mate," he went, "This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life." Oh my God,
how was Soph due then?
Sophie's just got pregnant. I went, "Oh, shut up, man." I was like, "It's easy. Like, come on, it's gonna it'll be amazing. Like, it's surely amazing." It's like, it's the best thing. But get ready, you are going to be in for a shock. And I was like, mate, I don't need sleep. Like, I can function. 2 weeks after Leo was born, I rang him and I went, fucking hell, mate, you weren't lying, was you? Like, this is tough.
I want to ask you more about Soph, because obviously me and Jordan, like, you know, we're going through everything now. We're excited.
You too.
Like,
I'm excited.
It's going to happen, you know, it's going to happen.
Kids, marriage, the whole shebang.
I think I'll have the kids first.
Because we had kids.
I'm going through a lot of tests right now. I've got like fertility tests. Apparently I've got quite a few cysts on my ovaries, and it worries us, of course, because I don't know how easy it'll happen or if it'll happen at all. Fingers crossed, of course, it's going to happen. I know it. But I'm going through like a few tests right now, and like, obviously me and Jordan are going through like a little bit of a struggle because we don't know what the outcome's going to be. And obviously I'm 33 now, so time does take a lot more when you're older. And I know I've got eggs and stuff, and it's going to be fine. But what I was going to ask you about you and Soph, like, you've been together now how long?
Oh God, 4 and a bit.
4 and a bit years, and you're married.
We're married now. Yeah, we're married. We moved in quite soon.
Fine. So this is what I was going to say.
Fine, man. Like,
10 months.
Yeah, 10 months. Probably about the same.
Yeah.
Probably about the same.
And then were you planning babies or not?
Yeah, we were. We went to Bali, and we was on holiday in Bali. I actually broke my neck on the second day.
Oh my God. What, you like at breaking things?
Oh, mate, I'm the worst. I'm so clumsy. So
didn't your finger?
I broke it.
It's been your leg, your finger, your neck.
I broke everything. I broke my neck on the second day, and then we had 2 weeks out there, and we came back, and Sophie was pregnant, but she lost it. Oh. So we didn't put pressure on ourselves after that. We was like, what's gonna be will be, like. And obviously she was devastated, and it was quite a hard kind of navigation for me, because I was like, I didn't know how she felt, and obviously I was.
Well, of course, I think for men,
it's different for the woman, man. Like they're carrying the baby, so so it was a bit of a hard time with that. And then we kind of was like, look, we'll just
leave it be. Yeah,
we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
once every 4 weeks, and then when you're married, trust. And then she got pregnant. Oh, and it was really worrying the first obviously few months.
Yeah,
and
you got
like
to keep it under wraps and everything, don't you?
And then it just beautiful when she was just so
Jake,
beautiful.
Tell me now, what does it feel like to be a dad?
It's just you can't explain it, honestly. You can't explain it. Sometimes when I put him to bed, I want to go wake him up.
What was he saying? I watched it
so
Instagram when he was going, I
say, night, baby, and he goes, night, daddy, and then I say, bye, and he goes, bye, and then I go, I love you, and he goes, you.
I was watching, he's going, you.
Yeah, he just shouts you. So if I slow it down and go, he'll go, I love you. But if I go, I love you, he just goes, you. And I'm like, But the thing is, like, I'm worried about when he says I love you full and stop saying you, I'm going to miss it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and he calls me dad now.
Imagine
And
when,
I'm like, Dad?
imagine when he's older, you know, like when you've seen a bird and they never say love you, the boys never say love you.
Yeah.
And she's like, love you, and it just goes, you.
Yeah, you.
She'd be
Yeah,
like,
she'd be
you need to
fuming.
start saying that you love, and you'd be like, you.
Do you know what though? I think that's the best thing about social media is I'm going to have all these little videos and all these little
Yeah.
pictures of him, like
course, do
as
what
a
you gotta
baby,
do.
because I don't have anything of me really when I was
Nah,
younger.
nah.
Fucking black and
And
white
you get
photos.
to save them all, don't you?
I've got them all, and like on his 18th birthday, all these funny photos are gonna come out.
What
But he's
about
just the one, man.
what about in the future anymore?
Yeah, we've kind of spoke about it recently. Like, it has to happen sooner rather than later. We want the baby to be not
Cool.
too much younger than Leo.
Yeah.
So it's definitely on the cards. Like, I think, but again, what
Yeah,
will
you
be
don't
will
know,
be.
of
Like,
course.
like,
But if you could, obviously, you'd have.
yeah,
of course.
like I love being a dad, and I know, and she's an amazing mum. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So another one.
She
don't get me.
looks fucking amazing.
She's a
after
bit of a,
having-
she's just like she hardly even
But
goes
both
gym,
of
mate.
do. She's a MILF and you're bloody dilf.
I'll take that. I
You
haven't
do,
been called
you
a
look
dilf
great.
much. I haven't been called a dilf. much, mate. No, do you know what? She's super mum.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
Yeah.
She works her ass off. She's really, really, really nice. Like a nice person. Do you say tat or tut? Like a bit of old tat or a bit
Tat.
of tat. Soph says tut.
Where's she from?
Essex.
Essex, yeah.
Mate,
Essex.
it fucking makes me fuming when she says stuff. What else does she say? Giz, oh no, what is it?
Was it geezer?
No, oh fuck, what? I need to ring her because it pisses me right off. What's that word she says?
So what you're going to write? So
there's a word that Soph says that
one's
really
bigger,
annoys
isn't
me.
don't. It's just like it's off. Don't worry, I'll cut it out.
Oh, is Leo asleep on you?
Yeah, he's up on the dog bed.
He's on the dog bed. That's not actually a
Not
dog
bad.
bed, by the
Oh,
way.
right.
It's
No,
a human dog bed. He's not just sleeping with the dog. Right, we're just on the podcast. What's that word you say? Not tat and tort. The other one that you say, and I always say, no, it's not that. No, there's a word that you
What is
say,
it, an Essex one?
and I say it. It's not cuddle, is it?
Oh, Tiggle.
Tiggle.
Tiggle?
Oh, God, I'm gonna have to go
Hang
because
up
it
on her.
annoys me. Bye.
Hang on.
So she says tickle.
What is tickle?
Tickle.
What tickle?
Tickle.
What? She says tickle.
No, she says tiggle.
Tiggle.
Yeah.
Oh right.
So
okay,
if you was to tickle
tickle
someone,
her.
tickle her to
She'll
make
go,
them
stop
laugh.
tickling us.
She'll go, oh, gives a tiggle, or I'm gonna tickle you.
No.
And I'm like,
You need. Yeah.
I'm like, so
It needs
what
to
is
be the
tickle?
tick.
It's tickle. And she says it, and I've also heard people in Essex say it.
Oh.
And I'm like,
listen, I don't know. Let me ring Jordan.
does he
And I'll
see
ask
if he
him
says
if he says
tickle?
it. So
I'll be
this
fuming
is,
if he says tickle.
This is our Essex partners.
Yeah.
They've got nothing on the north.
No, the North's the one, innit?
Right. Let's see. What
Unless you're from Essex. Sorry. Imagine he pies you now. No.
You want stove? One sec, Lee.
Yeah,
You want stove?
Jordan, a quick one. You know, like, if you tickled me, what would you call it in Essex?
Yeah, tickle someone.
Is it with a K or a G or a G?
What?
Is it a tiggle or a tickle?
Yeah, tickle.
C-K.
T-I-C-K.
Yes.
L-E-D.
So it's not a tiggle.
Yeah.
Not a tiggle. A tiggle is that. No, it wasn't tiggle.
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
Right, okay, that just sums it up.
Mate, I'm getting a divorce because of
So
this.
basically, Jake's bird, she's from Essex, but she calls a tickle tiggle.
No, tickle.
So where's she getting this from then?
Oh, I don't want to know. Right, okay, bye.
Where
I
is
don't know
she
where
getting
she's
tiggle?
getting that from.
This needs to be like some kind of poll or something.
Yeah,
'cause
we need to know.
Tiggle is not a word for me.
So is it tiggle or tickle?
Tickle.
Right, okay, so it's tickle.
And also it's tat.
Tat.
If you bought some old
Yeah,
tat.
yeah. Oh, I love that bit of tat.
Yeah, she calls
What
it
about
old
this one?
tut.
What about a turn? I'm going to see a turn tonight.
What the fuck is that?
So it's like, like Elvis Presley tribute. We'll be like, oh, we'll go and watch the turn tonight, and it's a big turn.
Nah.
Nah, you don't say that.
I'm going to watch a tribute act.
Oh, no, there's so many different things that we say.
What do you say, turn?
Yeah, so I'll say I'm going to see the turn tonight.
But Geordies say so many random
We
stuff.
say,
don't
do you
they?
know any Geordie words?
Not really, nah. Mortal. That's
Mortal,
just
though,
really-
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
That's
one.
just-
What about Ganut?
Going out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just say that really quick.
I know. What about Gant the tune for a bottle of Broon?
Going for a beer?
Yeah!
Fucking hell, come
That
on.
is really good.
This is like Morse
Where you
code.
going to eat?
Where are you going tonight?
Yeah.
You're just, by the way, you're just saying words in
Shortened,
your accent.
Shortened.
Yeah.
What about he's an absolute Raji. What does Raji mean?
See, if I said Raji, I'd say it was a bad thing, but I think you're saying that as a good thing.
Yeah, like it would be like you're crazy. Like he is absolutely nuts, crackers.
So it's a good thing.
It's not bad.
Right.
It's not bad. What about I'm Ganyem?
Ganyem. Like,
Home.
Yem.
Yeah, means home. We have one of that, isn't it? Because it doesn't really.
It just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Ganyem.
There's so many weird phrases.
Geordie's such a hard accent.
It is a hard accent.
Hard
right,
accent.
so,
Scunthorpe has nothing.
yeah,
Really. We're just northern.
What was Scunthorpe like? It's quite good there. It's got a nice beach, hasn't it?
No.
My friend lives in Scunthorpe.
no
She's always
beach.
at the beach, I think. That
There's
looks
no
like a really
beach in
nice
Scunny.
beach. Really?
Are you sure? You're not thinking Scarborough?
No, it was near Scunthorpe.
Skegness?
Maybe Skegness.
Skeggy's got
Maybe
a
I've got it
beach.
wrong.
Yeah, Scunthorpe ain't got
Maybe
it.
I've got it wrong.
Scunthorpe's all right. Do you know what I mean? I'm always going to class Scunthorpe as my home.
Yeah. It's like me,
home.
South
Do you know what? Something that Leo says, because me and Sophie always think, is Leo going to have a northern accent or a Essex accent?
That's what I think all the time about my child.
So he says, I say bath.
Yeah.
I'm off for a bath.
Yeah, and
Just
a
with an
bath.
F. They say bath.
I'm so annoyed. I can't be bothered with
Leo
the
says bath, and I'm like, boom.
It's like,
he's
you
got
know
one
Marty's
northern
little
word.
boy.
Yeah.
He goes apple.
Apple.
But in where he's from, he lives in Bedfordshire. It's like apple.
Apple.
Is he right? So
Apple.
see, you don't say mum, do you?
I say mum.
Mum. We do mum. Now this is the thing. My child's got to say mum. I'm not having it go to school and go, mummy. No, it's mum.
You know that it's going to say mum.
It's going to have an Essex accent.
Said it like it.
But do you live near Essex now or not?
Yeah, we're Colchester.
Yeah.
Yes, and Soph's quite Essexy.
Yeah.
So I think she's got quite an Essex accent.
Essex accent.
But Leo says certain words. Do you know what he says as well? He never says yeah. He always says yes.
Yes.
And I love it.
That's quite posh.
Quite posh. I don't know where he gets it from. 'Cause me and her are both common as muck.
But
so he's like, yes.
How long have you and Sophie been together? How long is it? 4.5 years?
Yeah, 4.5. Yeah, met in Ibiza.
I was going to say, how did you meet? And obviously, when you met Sophie, you would have been like quite well known. And I know people hate to say that, but what
she was like, I think she thought I was an Instagrammer.
Did she?
Yeah.
Blogger.
Yeah, she's like, you're off Instagram.
Yeah.
She
Where did you
thought
meet? At
I was
Ocean
off
Beach?
Nah, Pikes.
Oh, that is quirky.
Yeah, that's quirky.
You meet a bird from Pikes, you know
Yeah.
she could be
And
potential
then
wifey.
we got married in Ibiza because of that. We did the full circle.
Oh
and got
my
married
God,
in
the
Ibiza.
best.
Yeah.
So she obviously knew you were like in the public eye. Like for her, do you think that was hard for her? Not like
I think it
you?
has been hard.
It's
for
hard
her
to
now.
adapt, isn't it? Because I've dated boys in the past who aren't in the public eye.
I think I knew that I was always going to end up with somebody that's not in the public eye because that's not really me. A lot of people think that. I think, do you get it as well? People are always like, you're so desperate for fame.
Oh, all the time.
I ain't desperate for fame. I'm
just
desperate
comes to
for
you, yeah.
fucking money.
Money, yeah.
I just want to make
I
money
always say
so
that
I
I'd
can
much
live.
rather be rich than have the fame.
Oh my God, if you could give me the opportunity to have money that sets me up for life, or be the most famous person in the world.
Well, like I said, I was well known, but I had nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Doesn't matter.
I think it maybe has been a struggle because also navigating through social media as a mom, new parent, people have opinions, people have things to say. So it is hard for her. I think it has been, but she deals with it really well.
And she opens up and she talks to you about it.
Yeah, she deals with it really well.
Yeah, of course. But like what I've seen is as well, like, people in the public eye you get with the partners and stuff. I've seen that they like these moms, right? These I hate talking about trolls, but I just feel like I just want to. These trolls, right? These mother trolls, they are more brutal than anything I've ever seen. Now, Charlotte's a new mom. Holly's becoming a new mom.
Yeah.
Marnie as well. Now, what I've seen them go through of these trolls, like, she won't get trolled, will she? Or do people?
Soph gets trolled, but
yeah. But it's these moms, and what I'd say is like me. Eventually I'm going to become a mom. I don't know whether to post my baby. And I'm worried of what people say.
But you can't let people's opinions stop you from being who you are and doing what you want to do. And like some days I've struggled with people saying nasty things, and then I just think actually like as long as it's not the people that are closest to me, my friends and my family,
Then
saying
why should it
that, then
matter?
it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
And it does. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It does hurt sometimes. Like,
Course.
it does hurt. But also, it's like I used to argue quite a lot and go back but now
It
I
was
just
Twitter,
I
wasn't
just
it?
try.
Remember, I saw
Twitter's
it on
quite,
Twitter, yeah.
But now I just try and just block and delete,
Yeah.
and delete, and get on with my day.
Yeah.
And try and not let it ruin your day when they
Yeah, I
do it.
know,
'Cause
yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I just think that they must be going through a lot of shit
And
themselves.
yeah,
for
I
them to
agree
do
with you.
that.
Like, you pity them.
It's not even. It is pity, but it's also like I kind of hope you're all right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In a weird way, like
No, I
you're
agree,
saying
yeah.
the most hurtful things about
You're
me,
seeing the best in people.
but also like I've been there. I've sat and been bitter about not getting work, and I haven't sat and trolled people. But,
No.
but people deal with things differently.
You know
do
what?
I
It's
mean?
funny you say this because, you know, me and Jordan in our new relationship, we've had people go, "You'll never last," or
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, look, he can do much better than you." And don't get us wrong, I've looked at relationships and I've been like, "He definitely cheats on her," and I've been like that person.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's different, whatever
Yeah.
boys say,
Yeah.
but you know, I've been that person just to
Course.
quickly judge
Yeah.
because I was unhappy.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
I
but-
was
but-
single and looked like couples go, "Oh, what's she doing with him?"
Yeah.
And it's horrible.
Yeah,
It is,
yeah.
but obviously
'Cause
I'd
you
never troll
wanted
it.
that
Because deep down I
you
did.
wanted that.
Of
But
course.
also like relationships break down.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're in the public eye or you're not. So like people saying you'll never last. Who knows what can happen in life?
Yeah.
Like if you're not happy,
Yeah.
then you're not happy, then it might break down.
Yeah.
So you just gotta make sure you're with the right person, and you and George
Absolutely,
seem mega happy.
Oh,
man,
we're
like.
good. We're really good. And,
So
and life's good.
hopefully-
But yeah, things might happen. But as well, like you said, like, listen, in the past, I never once said, "Oh yeah, I want to date someone in the public eye."
Yeah.
If I'm honest,
Do you know
I always
what?
said I don't want to.
I don't see George like that.
Yeah, it's
He's
different.
got his head screwed on.
Yeah,
now.
I know.
I was telling Sophie about him earlier. He still works. He's still
Every
his
day he's at
hairdresser.
barber now.
Exactly. So for me, like when I met him, I was like, he's sound.
He's a good egg.
He's not in it for the fame because
Yeah.
I'm still doing it. And
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
said that. But like he has got his head screwed on.
Yeah.
And I really like that about George. I thought
It's different, isn't it? It's like being in it for fame. Like, you know, he's got to do what he's got to do, but he's not in it. Me and him on in it for fame.
Yeah,
We're just
yeah.
really, really
course.
happy and doing what we've
and
got to
you,
do.
And you got to look at people when you say in it for fame. I think a lot of people that then do a reality show and come out and they've got a bit of that fame. I reckon if you ask 95% of them, they'd say, "I fucking don't want it anymore."
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because
What would you say, right? So obviously young people like watch this, or like middle age, whatever, our
Yeah.
age people. You know, a lot of youngsters now, they're trying to get in the TikTok scene,
Yeah.
trying to get in the YouTube scene.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say to them now to, you know, help them? Obviously, they're going to have to go through a lot with the trolls and the anxiety and everything like that, getting to where they want to be.
Yeah.
What would you say to them now to like to stay in the industry, be successful,
yeah.
but be true? to
I'd just
themselves?
say
What would you
don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like don't want something just because you see like in the YouTube scene and the TikTok scene is so huge now. Like a lot of people like Fred looks up to these YouTubers that
Is he on it now?
yeah he looks up to these guys like that open FIFA packs.
What's that?
Like they just open FIFA cards.
Oh no, not the
He could
unboxing
yeah, he
things.
could watch it for hours.
Yeah.
And I can't get my head around it. But also, it's part of a learning process. My idols when I was 16 have totally changed to who
Yeah,
my idols
absolutely.
are now.
Yeah.
So just know that like you're going to change through the times.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you're kind of staying grounded and staying as humble as you possibly can, and realizing that actually all that outside noise means fuck all. At the end of the day, like as long as you got food on the table, a house
Yeah, it's
over
true.
your head,
Yeah.
enough money to do nice things,
Nice things, yeah.
and surround yourself with good people, that's actually what matters.
Mm.
And I think that's how I've changed as I've got older.
Yeah.
That now it's more important for me to be able to give the family something than to be able to give myself
Well, yeah,
something.
exactly.
And just don't worry too much because I think when you're in the public eye and maybe someone trolls you or something, you think you're the only person in the world that's getting that.
Of course you do, but you've got
Everybody
to believe
gets it,
everyone's
but
in it.
also people that are in the public eye have
Yeah.
to go through bullying and
Absolutely, yeah.
trolling and stuff like that, and it's awful. So just know that like it happens to everyone.
And what I'd say is, as well, like, yes, people might look at us and think, social media is brilliant and they want to have that lifestyle. But I'd always say, if you have an opportunity to do a talent or a career, and yes, of course, influencing social media is a career, I get that. But if you have an opportunity to go and get a talent, like you said, you had your football, you had your singing, and you've got obviously your acting and stuff like that. If you can do that, go and do it, because it's something you can always fall back on.
I'm gonna not. I don't want to be a pushy parent. My mum and dad were never pushy. They just diverted me in ways that they thought that I'd like, and I did. So I was always sport. So when Leo gets to an age, no matter what age it is,
can do what he wants,
and he wants to do ballet, or he wants to do acting, or he wants to do whatever he wants to do, I'll support that 100%. And if he gets to a point where he goes, Dad, I don't like that anymore, then we'll look through other things. And I wasn't amazing at school. I didn't do bad, but I wasn't amazing. I think,
but that's fine, because you had all these different things.
But also letting, like, Fred used to want to be a vet. And I was like, that's amazing. He wants to be a vet. Like, he loves animals. Now he wants to be a YouTuber. But
see, this is
that's
what I mean,
only because he's at that age where he's watching the YouTubers. And I don't know if you agree, I think now a lot more people on the social media, Instagram, TikTok and all that, there's a lot more things coming out where it's inspiring. So people are talking about grief, and there's people talking about well-being,
I agree,
gym, and I follow a lot of
people
gym
that
pages.
Look a lot different. People,
and
that amputators. So many people, like people with disabilities now, are being able to do fashion.
A beautiful thing.
It's amazing,
And as long as they're having the right role models, and hopefully there is a good amount of role models for them to look up to, and that's what I want to be to them as well.
I've seen you on your TikTok.
I try, mate. I try.
Them dance, you and your mum.
Your
mum
she's a ledge, mate.
She needs to be TikTok famous.
Yeah, do you know what? She's got like 80,000 Instagram followers.
No.
She talks about Emmerdale. And she does her gardening. And
she's so northern, by the way.
She's so northern, but she thinks she's posh as fuck. She proper thinks she's posh. I love my mum, and me and my mum became even closer after my dad
after
and my
everything
brother.
what happened,
but I'd love to do a show with my mum. Yeah. Because I just give her so much shit.
Well, you know what I was going to say? You're doing Loose Men.
I've been doing quite a bit for him, which is great.
Yeah. So obviously there's Loose Women.
Yeah.
And now there's Loose Men.
Yeah, the last thing I did for them is I did a live testicular check.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that because a lot of guys will be too embarrassed to even check their balls.
Yeah.
And I think I suffered quite badly with health anxiety after losing my dad and my brother.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I always thought I was ill. I always thought I had something wrong with me. And I think when they asked me to do it, I was like, again, I looked at it and I was like, this could make the difference to 1, 2, 3,
100%.
7,000, 10 million people. You never know. And it did, because I had so many messages like, thank you so much. My husband's checked, and he never would have if he hadn't watched that. So I kind of started doing a lot more presenting for like Loose Men, Loose Women, Lorraine.
Yeah.
And I think that my career, if I could plan it out now.
Yeah, I was going to say, go on then.
Yeah,
what,
I think
what is the plan?
My career started in, let's say, footy.
Yeah.
Went to music. And now I'm doing like the stage stuff, but I would love to present. Like, that's what I'd love to do.
You've got it. And I think with you seem like the type of lad, if you want something, I feel like you've got the power in you to get it. Because anything you've ever wanted.
It's just a secret, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just being positive.
It's a secret. And if you manifest it and you believe it, like what I said here, I visioned this for about 3 years. Yeah. It was on my vision board, and I'm sitting here now with you.
Did you envision the whole
I envisioned the lips.
Did you?
The lips, everything,
lips
And like I said, listen, if you vision it, you'll get it, Jake. And obviously, look how far you've come now. Like, you're doing things for ITV.
Yeah,
that is mental, and you've done so many things.
And you know what? Like, I feel like when I came out of the jungle, you feel like hot property, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
And then you can quite easily drop in this game.
But you've just got
There's
to have
new people coming along, and you've just got to keep grafting. And a lot of people go, well, it's not really graft. And I get that. It might not look like graft, but you've just got to not even stay relevant. You've just got to be willing to put yourself out there and try and keep growing and take the opportunity. And if someone says, Jake, can you do a little bit of presenting for this? I'm not thinking, I'm not doing that. I'm too good for that.
And I like that. It's humbleness.
I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to work my way up. I don't want to get offered the fucking BAFTAs.
No.
Like, I want to work my way up.
You just want to enjoy what you do.
Yeah, and enjoy. And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
My dad used to say, like, if you're doing a job that you enjoy, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, no, and I agree.
And I do, and I do it. And if that's what Fred and Leo want to do, they want to do something where they love it. They might not be earning millions of pounds, but they're happy.
Yeah,
What's
then
more
that's all that
important?
matters. Exactly.
Being happy is more important than being rich.
Well, Jake, honestly, thank you so much for being on
Because
this podcast.
this was nice.
I know. I was just worrying about the time. That's why I thought I could sit here another half hour. I've got so much to talk about your back.
Chatting about.
It is, and you know what as well, like I think, like, you know, you are really humble, like I keep saying, and I think you've been in so many different scenarios and places, and obviously the mental health and, you know, going through what you went through, like that is, honestly, that is fucking traumatic, mate.
Yeah.
And for you to come out as well, like still being so humble, you know, you're an amazing parent, you're an amazing husband, and you're doing so much for yourself. Like, not many people get to stay in this industry as long as obviously what me and you have. And I tell you what, it's a reason, because we're fucking good people, mate. That is why, because you don't get anywhere.
Well, you don't get anywhere without being nice, you know what I mean?
And that's what people have got to learn.
To be nice.
Fuck all to be nice, and that's why, you know, we're here today.
Yeah.
But thank you
Thank you
so
for having
much.
me. Thank you for having me.
We could sit here and have a cup of tea forever.
What's this jar, by the way?
Do you want to?
Yeah, come on, let's do the jar.
Right, okay. This is...
Well, I've got time, haven't I?
Yeah, you've got 5
let's
minutes.
do the jar.
So this is the jar.
Come on.
Right, come on, get... Oh, he's got his shades on.
These aren't mine, by the way. Oh, yeah. These ain't mine.
You won't do them. So this is... Would you rather?
All right.
Right. Would you rather have to be naked at work for an hour, or be dropped off 2 miles from your house whilst you're naked and have to try and get home?
What job?
Has that ever happened, by the way?
What job am I doing?
Let's say,
if it's
let's say Dream Boys.
Sitting on the loose fucking men panel for an hour, I ain't sitting there naked. And
Let's say back in the day when you did the Dream Boys.
Dream Boys.
So you're standing there
I
on
never
stage.
got naked doing that. And I
No,
never
but
would.
this is Would You Rather.
I'd rather be dropped off 2 miles from home, because I reckon I could make a diversion through like a forest or something, and I could get away, and I wouldn't be spotted.
Someone could get you in the street. And that will go all over social media. But then again,
it's already happened, mate.
Yeah.
It's already happened. I've been down that boat before. It's out.
I would have put 2 more.
Yeah, go on.
Dream Boys was fun for you, wasn't it?
Do you know what? Dream Boys was just another chapter.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting much work, and I was like, let's take the opportunity.
Yeah, listen, yeah, it goes. I mean, what boys were on? Was it Rogan on there?
Rogues was on it,
Yeah.
Rogue
Was
did
it any
sound.
Geordie Shore boys or not? Scotty T or not?
Nah.
Was
they
he not
did
on
it.
that one?
I think Scotty did it well
After
before
you,
me.
yeah,
no, well
yeah.
before me, yeah. I think.
If I was a boy, I'd do it. 100%.
Why not?
Would you rather say your ex's name during sex of your partner's best friend or your partner's best friend's name?
Fucking hell.
You don't have to answer it and pick another one. Shall I pick another one?
Yeah, pick another one.
If you want Sophie, just watch this.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
you are-
Why would you say
No,
that?
yeah. You should pick really naughty ones for him. Right. Oh, right, this is gone. Would you rather have the face of a pensioner but the body of a 22-year-old,
All right.
or the body of a pensioner and the face of a 20-year-old?
Face.
What, your face of a 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would.
You wear clothes, innit?
Yeah, but then it would be like going to the beach. What would you do at the beach?
Wear a vest.
Wear a vest, yeah. But
That's what you do when you get older, anyway, innit?
True, yeah. Dad vest.
100%.
Dad vest.
Keep your face.
Right, next one.
Keep your Botox.
That's what Botox is for.
Mate, I had Botox once.
Did you?
Worst thing I've ever done.
Was it?
Never do it again.
You need expressions, that's why.
I love my face, a bit like Jim Carrey's. You know what I mean? I'm always
To be
moving
fair,
it
you've got
around.
good skin though.
Thanks.
Good skin. I mean,
Nivea.
I'd love to sit here and say I've never had Botox, but yeah. It's another one. Would you rather block the toilet on a first date or first date at a new job? So would you rather block the toilet on a first date, or would you rather block it the first day at a new job?
Job.
I'm
not bothered.
Yeah. On a first date, yeah, there's
First
a bit different
date,
in it,
what,
yeah.
like
In her
Nando's?
house.
Or
yeah.
in her house?
Yeah.
If I block the toilet in Nando's, I'm out. I'm not bothered. I'm just go, someone's blocked the toilet in there. I reckon I've done that before, you know. Have you ever been in like
We've all
a
did
train
that. We've
and
all did
like
that,
I've
yeah.
had a shit on a train before and like I haven't blocked it, but then you know that someone's gonna go in after you,
Yeah.
and it stinks.
And it stinks.
And when I walk out, I go, oh God,
I always
that
blame.
is horrible.
Yeah.
You've ever done that, and it was me.
But you're the guilty one.
Yeah.
Same. I do that, and I
yeah.
go, oh God, she's awful who's done that, and I
Yeah.
think I am the culprit.
Yeah, I've done
got
it.
a cheek.
I do it all the time on the train.
It's the best, isn't it? Yeah.
I quite like a poo
especially
train.
when they know
training.
who we are as well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Go on.
Would you rather show friends every photo in your phone, or read out loud every text you've sent this week? So what's worse,
Mate,
your camera roll
do you know
or your
what?
text messages?
Just read the texts. Do you know my texts are boring?
Right.
I literally text about 2 mates, Sophie, my mum. Honestly, my texts are the most boring things.
What
It'd be
about
like,
the camera
what's
roll?
for tea?
I bet the camera roll's the kids, isn't it?
Quick look.
Oh God, yeah, go on. Oh, she sent any sexy
Let's have a
photos or not?
look. Right, so there's two of me in the ice bath.
Lovely.
Yeah, doing a little motivational speech.
Yeah, good.
Then
Love that.
there's a little reel that I made today. Do you want to see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Leo on the bike.
Ah! Oh, it's really chill.
Yeah, he's asleep.
Oh my God.
He's sleeping on the bike. Look
That
at his
is
life.
that's some extra weight that
That's
as well.
life, isn't it? Look at him.
Have you posted this yet?
No, not yet. That's
Oh.
tonight.
So I get to see that.
Yeah, that's and then there's loads of photos of him on the bike. Me in the gym today on the rowing machine.
God,
But
Jake.
honestly, I'm so
It's
boring.
very inspirational, your camera roll.
My broken finger.
Oh God, it looks very skinny.
It's my little finger.
Very slim.
Can we just
Now-
clear that up? That's my little
Now,
finger I'm showing.
shall we just have a laugh here? Now, my camera roll is Nathan's ex-boyfriend because he's just been stalking him.
That's a full crotch shot.
Yeah, and
What? Wait. Go back on
then-
that.
and
Is
then
that a
if-
photo that he took of himself later?
no, that's the point.
How? What? He looks like he just fell out the
That's
fucking
not
sky
Nathan.
and landed on the bed.
A bit of sushi.
Nice.
And
Very raw, by the way. Do you
yeah,
like it like that?
raw, and then there's me just eat the sandwich, and yeah, Holly and a bump. It's very different, isn't it?
No, not really.
Very
It's
different.
like-
Yeah, you're on the back of a bike, and
I'm biking and gymming.
and I've got some like with his
Sandwiches,
legs
sushi,
open.
and some geezer that's fell from the sky onto a bed. No, I like it. No, it's different.
Oh, but honestly, thank you so much,
Thank
Jake. You have been a bloody honour. Thank you so
you.
much for coming on. the
Thanks
podcast.
for having us.
Second guest.
Second guess.
Very important.
First the worst, second the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was first?
Nathan, the worst.
Sorry, Nate.
And everyone at home or wherever you are, work, travelling, wherever, thank you so much for listening. Jake is amazing in what he does. If you want to support his charity, everything is over on Jake's. Is it on
Yeah,
Instagram?
page Sarcoma UK and
Yeah.
follow me on Instagram.
Follow him on Instagram and TikTok.
I'm not
No,
really bothered.
right,
about
okay.
it.
Follow him on Instagram. I'm sure everyone will want to follow him and see what he's up to. But everyone as well, thank you for listening and love you lots.
Love you.
Woo!